Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Teacher George, and welcome to your English class. This is our second class, where today we're going to be reviewing another fantastic topic, which is health. Who doesn't want health nowadays? So today, who we have online? We have Nijakira. We have Jessica. Who else is there? Luigi, you're joining us. So we have Luigi, and who else? Who else is there? Ricardo. Okay. So we're gonna get started today. We have a fantastic lesson where we're gonna learn about health. We're gonna talk about lifestyles, okay? We're also gonna learn about modals, about should and must. We're gonna learn how to use them, we're gonna learn the difference between using should and using must. And we also going to learn to construct sentences by using should and must. So let's get started. Okay, so to get started with our class, we're gonna start with, first of all, what's health? Okay, maybe Nijakira, what's health? Yeah, exactly. Health is when you feel good. What else? Any other idea? Maybe Luigi, what's health? Perfect, well said. When there's an equilibrium in your body, right? Between your mind and your soul, and you feel good, right? You feel full of energy, you know. Health is very important, and depending on your health, right, is how your life is going to be. And that is why it's really important to build good habits, right? Because we have two kinds of habits. We have good habits and we have bad habits. And when it comes to health, habits play a crucial role. What's a habit, Giancarlo? A routine, correct. A habit is an activity that you do often, a repeated routine that you do it often and repeatedly. So that's a habit. So we have good habits and bad habits. Okay. So now I'm gonna send you a link through Padlet. Please open your link. Okay. And here we have healthy and unhealthy habits. Okay. Yes, we have healthy and unhealthy habits. So we are going to classify good habits and bad habits, okay? Okay. Okay, so let's we're going to classify. Okay, so we have good habits and bad habits. Good habits. Let's see, Ricardo, can you tell me a good habit? Drinking water, correct. Drinking water, it's a good habit. Perfect. So we have drinking water. It's habit number one. Okay, another good habit. Let's see, Luigi, a good habit. Doing exercise, correct. We have doing exercise. Another good habit. Let's see, Jessica. Another good habit, yes. Sleeping well, perfect. Sleeping well. Another one. Let's see, Luigi. Another good habit. Being active, correct. Being active. Okay, now let's talk about bad habits. As the word itself says it, bad habits is bad for your health, right? It's bad because it affects your health. And so these are the things that you should avoid, okay? You should not do these things, okay? So let's classify what are the bad habits, okay? So we have the good habits first. Now we're gonna go with bad habits. Okay, with bad habits, what do we have? Let's see, Nijakira, can you tell me one bad habit, please? Eating fatty foods, correct. Eating fatty foods. That's one bad habit. Perfect. Okay. Okay, another bad habit. Let's see. Luigi. Another bad habit. Getting drunk. Right? Another bad habit. Let's see, Ricardo, another bad habit. What is it? Being sedentary, correct. Sedentary. That's another bad habit, right? Next one, Jessica, another bad habit. Feeling stressed. Thank you. Feeling stressed. And the last one, Ricardo, the last bad habit. What is it? Smoking. Thank you. Okay, so we have a list of bad habits, right? We have getting drunk, being sedentary, feeling stressed, and smoking. Okay, so what's getting drunk, Jessica? Yeah, when you drink lots of alcohol, correct. Being sedentary, Nijakira? Yes, being inactive, right? Like being just lying down in a couch, just eating and sleeping right away, right? Feeling stress, Luigi. Yes, feeling stress, please. Being preoccupied, yes. Worrying, perfect, thank you. And smoking? Yeah, smoking cigarettes. Thank you, Ricardo. Okay, so as you can see, there's a list of good habits and bad habits, and these ones can take a toll on your health. And that's why we have to keep in mind to always cultivate good habits, okay? Always, because these ones are gonna play a big role in our health, which is why we have to be mindful of using these habits properly, okay? Alrighty. Now, continuing with our class today, we're gonna learn about the uses of should and must, okay? So I'm gonna show you a grammar chart where you can see should versus must in English, okay? So what should? We use should to suggest something that is advisable, right? We use the modal should to express opinion to a person's point of view, right? Like should is when when you care about somebody or you want to tell something to someone without being too pushy, without being too expressive. You want to say you should do this, um you should um you should eat healthy, you should eat vegetables, you should do exercise, you should clean your house, you should sleep well. You see, like when you say should, you are telling the person in a nice way what what they have to do, right? So it's advisable, right? That when we use should, right? Now we're gonna see the difference when we use must. When we use must, right? M-U-S-T, we use must to express a stronger point of view, right? Here we're expressing a stronger point of view. Here we need to or we have to. This is like mandatory, okay? The modal must also expresses opinion on one person's point of view, but this one is like mandatory. For example, let's say that nowadays that that with the coronavirus pandemic, you must get the coronavirus vaccine, so or else you get infected, right? You must um, you must always check your car before you go on a road trip. You must obey the laws that are provided by your country. So as you can see, the difference between should and must has a stronger meaning because in must, you are telling the people what they have to do. This is mandatory. This is like an order, okay? This is like an order that when they use must, they have to learn how to say, like they have to follow the rule, okay? So now we're gonna see some examples. You should apply for a job. Now, should and must also have a negative form, right? We're gonna see the negative of should. Pay attention, please. You have sore throat. You shouldn't drink cold water. So you can see this is the short form of should, which means should not. People should eat enough fruits in order to be healthy. People should be a way, there should be a way to do something. Michael should keep out of the sun for 2 days. You see? So this is the examples of should. Now the examples of must. We must fasten our seatbelts. We must stop playing computer games. We must learn to drive. It will be very useful. Banks must examine all documents. She must not disturb me. The students must study English at least 11 hours a week. So as you can see, there's a big difference between using should and must. Now, also keep in mind that must, as like I said, should also has a negative form, which is shouldn't, right? You have sort of, you shouldn't drink cold water. Also, must also has a negative form, which is mustn't. You mustn't smoke, right? Now, this is something very important that I need to point out is that when you use, when you say mustn't, we have a T here. Do you see the little T here? When you pronounce mustn't, the T is silent, okay? And when you say you mustn't smoke, you cannot hear that T. However, when you have to write the T, because don't do the mistake that because the T is silent, you may forget to write it, okay? So whenever you use mustn't, always remember to write the T, but when you pronounce it, you cannot hear because it's silent, okay? So as you can see, the should and must have, they have a positive form and they have a negative form of using should and must, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna send you a link for a Google document where I'm gonna highlight some examples about should and must, okay? Okay, so open the link that I just sent you. It's about a Google document where we are going to learn the uses of should and must. Okay, is everybody there? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna provide you some examples of how to write should and must, okay? And in their forms, positive or negative. First, I'm gonna start with should. It says, you obey the traffic laws at all times, right? So first, I'm gonna start with must, okay? I'm gonna start with must. Okay, so we have you obey the traffic laws at all times. We're talking about the law here. So it's a stronger request, a stronger requirement. So we write you must obey all the traffic laws at all times. You drive after taking drugs or alcohol. So here, as you can see, it's also prohibited, but in here we have to use the mustn't. You mustn't so we write you mustn't, right? You mustn't drive after taking drugs or alcohol. This is when we're talking about the law. Now, when it comes to school, you can also use must or mustn't. In this particular case, we have you must bring your school materials, okay? So I'm gonna highlight it. I'm gonna highlight it for you guys so you can see more clearly. Okay, now these are the examples. As you can see, these are the uses of must, okay? Now let's see the uses of should. It says you wait for sales to buy expensive things. In here, you don't have to use must because it's not mandatory. It's not an order, it's not really requested, it's optional. So we write, you should wait for the sales to buy expensive things. Here, you work for long hours without the break. Also, it's not mandatory. This is like a recommendation, it's an advice. So we use should. Actually, shouldn't, because you are telling the person not to do this, but as in a way of an advice. You shouldn't work for long hours without the break. And the last one, you should think of ways to save energy. As you can see, these are the uses of should, shouldn't, must, and mustn't. Okay. So as you can see, that's the big difference between should and must. And this is how you have to use them. Don't forget that there's a big difference between should and must. And like I have provided these examples, now I'm gonna get you to write few examples of the uses of should and must. Okay, you can use any topic and try to write examples about should and must. Okay, write me at least 3 sentences about the uses of should and must. Okay, so you have a couple of minutes to do this activity, so let's get to it and write some examples of should and must. In the meantime, I'm going to keep highlighting the examples I have provided for you to give you an idea of should and must. Okay, she must learn to drive. It will be very useful. Banks must examine all documents. She must not disturb me, or you can say must not or mustn't. The student must study English at least 11 hours a week, especially if you are studying English. You mustn't smoke. Do you see the use of mustn't? You mustn't smoke. And when you are asking, you can also use must. Must you always be a first? He must finish his novel till tomorrow morning. Okay, so these are some of the examples of should and must. So we have a few minutes to write some examples of should and must. Okay, and then you're gonna share it with me. Okay. Okay. Okay, in the meantime, I have provided you some exercises where you can also use should and must. Okay, so we're gonna do it together. Okay. In a car, you wear a seatbelt. Let's see, Nijakira. What should I use? Must, correct. Next one. You talking lessons, everyone should be quiet. Let's see, Jessica. Mustn't, correct. You mustn't talk in lessons, everyone should be quiet. Next one, let's see, Luigi. She ski without a helmet. She's too young. What is it? Mustn't, correct. She mustn't ski without a helmet. She's too young. Perfect. Next one, Ricardo. They must leave now. It's too late. Thank you. Next one, Nijakira again. Children mustn't. Thank you. Mustn't enter this area. It's dangerous. Next one. I learn English every day. Let's see. Luigi. What is it? Must. Thank you. And the last one, Nijakira. I mustn't, because it's not good for you. So now, can you tell the difference of should and must, right? And he's saying it here. I mustn't play computer games. It's not good for me, right? So as you can see, right? As you can see, these are the uses of should and must, okay? So we have to keep in mind this very careful. So for the next activity, we are going to make a presentation about um, good habits. Okay, so please, I'm gonna send you a link, guys, to go to a platform. It's called Flipgrid, where you can record yourself. Okay, you're gonna record yourself, and you're gonna talk for like anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, where you're gonna be giving a brief description. No, let's say 5 minutes, where you're gonna be giving a brief description about good and bad habits and their effects. Okay, in your health. And I want you to use should and must while recording this video. Okay, so please go to the page Flipgrid. Okay, go to flipgrid.com. I send you the link. Okay, and then you're gonna click in record a response. Okay, record a response. Okay, you have a couple of minutes to record a response about good habits and bad habits and their effects using should and must. Okay, okay, let's get started. What is it, Nijakira? Yeah, you can. Yeah, fine. If you want to record a little bit more than 5 minutes, you can, but you have to start now. Yes. Yes, Luigi, you have to, yeah, you have to make the recording as clear as possible, where you're going to be exposing the uses of should and must, talking about good and bad habits and their effects on the health. Yes. Did you get the link, Jessica? Okay, 1 second. Let me send it to you again. So we have Flipgrid, Jessica, sent. Okay, I just sent it to you again, Jessica. You can get started. Ricardo. Okay, are you ready to record? Yes, 5 minutes where you have to talk about good and bad habits. But try to use should and must in your recommendations and advice, okay? Okay. I think Nishakira is calling me. Nishakira, yes, I'm here. Go ahead, tell me. You finished the video already? Okay. So, okay, guys, so it seems that Nishakira already finished her video. So we're gonna see her exposition about good and bad habits. Okay, so let's pay attention and look Nijakira's video.
My name is Niharika, and in today's lesson, we are going to talk about bad habits. Now, we all have bad habits. Some are trivial or small. Some show bad manners, and some are really, really disgusting and gross.
It's a good video.
So in this lesson, we are going to learn about bad habits, what exactly the term in English means. Okay, this would help you to build your vocabulary. So I am going to cover
this is exactly how you guys should do the video, okay?
Bad habits. Okay.
You can see that she made a list of good and bad habits, and she's explaining the meaning of good habits and bad habits.
That is cracking knuckles. Now, what does this term mean? Now, cracking knuckles is basically when someone constantly twists and bends their knuckles.
Okay, this is a good recommendation that she's making here, because as you can see, she's talking about bad habits. Cracking knuckles is a bad habit because you can hurt your hands, right? Like cracking knuckles could like harm your articulations in your hands, right? So, okay, already. So it seems that you guys did a good job on the video. The rest, please, you can send me the video later on. In the meantime, I'm gonna put you in groups, and where you're going to I'm gonna send you another link. Okay, I'm gonna send you another link where you're going to write, or you're going to respond to a quiz. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna put you into groups. So Niharika with Jessica, Luigi with Ricardo. Okay, and you have, I'm gonna send you a link which is quizalisize.com. Okay, so you're gonna go there. Okay, well, actually, before that, we are going to I ask you to read a couple sentences about should and must, right? Okay, so we're gonna so I'm gonna put you into groups first, okay? I'm gonna put you into groups where you're gonna be reading the sentences that you wrote previously with should and must, okay? And you're going to check, like the groups are gonna be checking if they use the proper model, if the uses of should and must were correct or not, okay? So you have 2 minutes to do that activity. Okay. So like I said, in Shakira with Jessica and Luigi with Ricardo. So please proceed with the activity, reading the sentences that you guys wrote, and we're gonna see if they wrote the sentences properly, and we're gonna correct them, okay? Okay, let's go with the first sentence. What is it? You must sleep 12 hours a day. No, here, no, that's not, no, here we have to make a correction because you cannot say you must sleep 12 hours a day. That's 12 hours a day, it's not a healthy habit. You have to correct that. What do you think of that, Luigi and Ricardo? Is that correct or not? It should. Excellent. Yeah, because when you say you must, it's like mandatory. It's like an order, okay? So you cannot say you must sleep 12 hours a day. You can say you mustn't sleep 12 hours a day because it's not healthy. It's not a healthy habit. Okay, let's go. Let's see another example, another sentence that Luigi and Ricardo wrote. What is it? You should go to the doctor twice a month. Okay, that's a good recommendation because they use the proper model. They don't say you must, right? Unless you're sick, of course. But because you're healthy, you must go to the doctor at least twice a month. So it's a good recommendation. They are using the model properly, which you should. Okay. Okay. Already. Okay. So for our final part of our class, okay, I'm going to send you a link, which is qualisize.com, quizalisize.com. Okay. I'm going to send you the link, and we have questions that where we're going to evaluate. You're going to be evaluated on your knowledge about good habits and bad habits. Okay. So I want you to answer these questions. Okay. You can do them in class or you can take them as a homework, okay? But it's important that you answer these questions, okay? Here we have some examples. Which of the following foods are rich in environments and minerals? Which of the following makes your bones stronger? Which of the following is not a form of exercise, okay? So we're gonna be answering those questions, and we are, as a homework, or you can do them in class, okay? Already. Okay, so to finish up with this class, okay, we're gonna make a quick review of what we learned so far, okay? So today we learned about the use of good and bad habits for our health. We learned the importance of health. We learned about good and bad habits. We learned about the models, should and must, their uses. Should is advisable to provide advice, and must, as you already know, is like an order or is mandatory. We also did some exercises with should and must. We also pair in groups to write sentences about should and must, where we expose it to the groups. We also recorded a video where we are talking about good and bad habits, like Nishakira did, okay? And we are going to answer this quiz to evaluate your knowledge about good and bad habits, okay? Alrighty. So did you guys like today's class? Excellent. I'm happy to hear. Already. So I will see you guys in the next class. It's been a pleasure, and take care. Bye for now.